Hello, entrepreneurs. Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneur Fundamentals. I'm Robert Bitto. One of the biggest questions I get from budding entrepreneurs is, what can I write off in my business? Well, fortunately for us, it's all spelled out for us by the IRS. If you go to irs.gov and you pull up Schedule C, you will see Section 2 shows what can and cannot be written off. You have basic categories: car expense, office expense, advertising expense, and so on. And I set up my accounting system to conform to these different categories. So what I do is when I get a receipt that's an expense for my business, I put it immediately in a folder marked for whatever category it goes into. Then I keep up with my accounting on a daily or every few days basis and enter in the receipts. And so at the end of the year, I have all of the different categories full of their appropriate expenses. And so then you take this form at the end of the year and then you fill it out according to your folders that you set up. Now, the categories can be very general, and thankfully the IRS has very detailed instructions that go along with the Schedule C. And what I would recommend any entrepreneur to do is to pull up those instructions and read them from beginning to end. And I know a lot of you have a phobia of the IRS. It's been instilled in us in our culture ever since we were little kids. But you've got to get over that phobia, and you've got to embrace this necessary thing that we all have to do, and that is filling out your tax returns. But for internal information, knowing what your expenses are helps you at the end of the year anyway, so you know how profitable your business is. But for the tax purposes, it's important for you to familiarize yourself with this form. The instructions are all online, and they can be pretty lengthy and detailed. Just like any other project in my life, what I did to learn about this is I took the big project, learning the Schedule C, and I chopped it up over the course of 2 weeks. I read a little bit one day, then the next day I read for a half hour, and by the end of 2 weeks, it's all done and you've got it down. If you don't really like learning that way, the government has workshops that you can take a lot of times if you're in a bigger city. You can sign up for a tax workshop because they want you to fill out the forms correctly. Now, this video is not necessarily about taxes. I'll talk about that in another video. But what you can and can't write off, that's very important because it can enhance your business and your life if you know what expenses you can deduct on your taxes. So my advice is to familiarize yourself with the Schedule C, read the instructions thoroughly, and then you'll know what you can and can't write off. And then what I would suggest, like I said, is categorize all of your expenses according to the categories that are on the form, so then at the end of the year, you're not left with what we see in the movies, a big shoebox full of receipts. So that's about it. Any specific questions you can ask the IRS, or you can leave a comment below, and maybe someone in our community or I could point you in the right direction. So until the next video, remember to work hard, and may all of your entrepreneurial dreams come true.